I hate my new English teacher.
I hate my crappy microphone.
I hate my new accent.
I hate my new slave.
Change. What is change exactly? The world is literally built on change. The universe is made up of quarks and stuff, so married and happy couples of 3 sometimes, and their marriages marry other marriages and make elements, and those elements can combine with more elements, and on and on and on. It changes. Quarks join together and change into the screen you're watching this video on. They change into the speakers you're probably listening to. Change is reality. Reality is change. If you run a modified game of billiards with the best computer on earth, you can determine where every ball will go indefinitely with every strike. If we compare that to the Big Bang per se, would the universe just be an extended game of pool with quarks and such instead of billiard balls? Would that mean all of your choices were predetermined? The man upstairs with a supercomputer of unbeknownst power loaded up this depressing simulation of his, where one strike of a cosmic cue stick decided all things today, tomorrow, yesteryear, etc., etc. All the choices made by us humans have all been predetermined from the moment the universe's switch was flipped on. No matter how many simulations that God up there has made, one thing has to have remained constant: change. The first change of each probable universe would be from off to on. The fundamental principles of existence itself is based on change. There is no escaping it. If change is reality and humanity rejects change, what then? Let us dial back the existentialism. Ah, our universe, what a beautiful sight to behold. Look, there's a human, a sprinkle of civilization, a shake of art, an assortment of education, and a gentle touch of assimilation. What's this? You want to see the first human? Well then, let's rewind.
Whoa! Where am I? What am I?
You are on Earth, my human.
Who, man?
Oh Christ, this one's dumb as well. I mean, yes, a human. You are the most intelligent thing in the universe, besides the lizard people.
What?
What? So your purpose is to, like, live and stuff?
What's living?
Well, you eat, breathe, shit, sleep and such.
Huh?
You put green thingy in speaky hole and invisible thing in smelly hole.
I see.
No, you eat and breathe. God, what have I made? Why the f*** are you biting a cow?
What?
Okay. You know what? Maybe I need to turn down the difficulty. What do you mean you locked the difficulty setting? What do I pay you for?
Who are you talking to there?
My colleague.
What's a slave?
Well, there's these lesser gods up here, and well, they're considered sub-god to us higher gods. They suck massive fudgesicles and are only kept so we have diversity, but in reality we just really want to assimilate them too. Sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, what's society?
Oh jeez, you asked so many questions. Well, you know what? I'll just upload all that information into every cell of your body, you know. What do you mean you implemented a beta test into the final product? Evolution! I did not run like this!
Ron Light?
Oh yeah, you can't see as many colors as us. That was a major bug we meant to fix, but someone never got around to it. In your eyes it would be green.
I feel a bit empty. Why do I exist?
Well, good luck on your ventures, child.
Wait, what?
And then he wrote the Bible, I think. Maybe. Once upon a time, there was a man named Gnushk. His job was to hunt for food to sustain his family. His wife, Gnorshk, gathered berries and such and lived in a happy harmony of not getting dead. Now, during those times, not getting dead was called a normal and good life, whereas today the Gnushks of the world, like me, enjoy avoiding social interaction with women because they scare me shut up. The world hasn't changed much, but we have. Humans have evolved, grown, changed. 2018. What sort of changes do we see in human behavior from now and then? Then was a simple time. Now is not. Now versus then is now a terrible question because then was obviously better than now. Now wasn't it then? Then was simple. Now was complicated. Do we like complicated now? Did we like simple then? Well, short answer, because this video is going to be too long to edit with the same mindset at the end, yes. Our tastes have changed since then, and for the better I do say. But tomorrow, I might say for the worse. Human nature is wildly unpredictable, isn't it? A change in mind is all it takes to either push us forward or drag us back.
is America.
Let's take a look at the US of the A. Hundreds of years worth of presidents who strive to make the country and the world a better place. Then now, an oversized orange who hates everyone and was elected from the stupidity and apathy of the American peoples. This orangutan is destroying what his predecessors have built with their life's work. We should tone it back a bit. See what I did there? No? Oh yeah, I didn't introduce the next topic. Gay voice. One of my best friends is gay. People don't think he has a gay voice, but with me it's very clear. Over the years, I have tested the patterns in his voice. I realized that he only sounds gay to me because he lets himself go when he's around me. Since we are so close, he doesn't feel the need to restrain himself. Therefore, people change their behavior depending on the people they are around. This holds true with everyone. Not one person is excluded from this change. Have you noticed that? The video's over here, mate. Ah yes, case in point. Our attention spans have gotten hellishly smaller. We'll come back to that topic later to test your memory of the specific event of this insignificant video. Technology has advanced our civilization exponentially. The greatest invention of all, reading and writing. Writing allowed humans to store thoughts and ideas indefinitely so the people of tomorrow could read it and absorb all that knowledge. Today we know what geniuses were thinking thousands of years ago. The philosophies of Socrates and Plato would be lost to us if they hadn't written it down. The discoveries of Newton and Galileo would not have been known to us. Although the limitless benefit of writing has bestowed great power unto our species, it also has the capability to destroy us. With Mein Kampf, Hitler pushed his mentality onto Germany. Pamphlets and posters were hung in the streets and poisoned the thoughts of many German citizens. Let's take a look at the key invention of gunpowder. Gunpowder is a substance accidentally invented by Chinese Taoists trying to create an immortality potion. This led to their invention of the hand cannon in the 13th century, eventually evolving into the rifle, drastically changing warfare. More on that after a few messages from our sponsors.
I've been watching.
At night, I think of you. Do you play League of Legends? Well, chances are you're stuck in bronze or silver and you want to get out because you don't want to look like a little scrub to your friends, right? Your friends in gold and platinum. Well, you can join their ranks right now if you call 604-597-6161. Jefferson Domo offers the best boosting service in BC. Call them right now and get 10% off with promo code DOMO. That's capital DOMO. Call 604-597-6161. I repeat, 604-597-6161. Later on, the world saw the invention of the machine gun, just before the First World War. Major powers didn't take into account the technological development and did not adapt their strategies to account for the rise of the machine gun. The new invention allowed concentration of firepower that changed the way war was fought and led to the trench system. Defensive capabilities led to a stalemate on the Western Front. The Russo-Japanese War of 1904-05 demonstrated the impact of the machine gun and revealed the invention held both impeccable defensive capabilities and a force that could decimate a far larger offensive force, demonstrated by the Japanese use of the Hotchkiss gun. All major power strategies leaned towards an all-out offensive due to the machine gun. Almost all of the new technologies introduced during the war were built in order to counter it, which leads us to a key point for war. Military technology grows as national tensions rise, resulting in more intense warfare. Technology has been a key factor in lowering the mortality rate in medicine, but not all new technologies were readily accepted by the medical community. Many viewed them with suspicion because these new devices threatened to replace expertise of traditional doctors. In the 1930s, some doctors believed chest x-rays were unreliable compared to physical examination. We see later that tech led medicine to be more specialized. It allowed many jobs to exist, such as but not limited to ophthalmologists, otolaryngologists, radiologists, and radiographers. MRI and PET scans invented in the 1950s were made possible because computers became both stronger and faster, enough to create good images. Assistive technologies such as hearing aids, ventilators, and pacemakers exist because of the technological growth. X-rays even threaten cancer. All in all, technology in medicine has saved countless lives, but was still rejected by traditionalists. Let's jump to today. The smartphone is an incredible invention. The limitless knowledge held within our fingertips. An amazing thing, eh? Not according to the media, it isn't. Latest headlines are always spouting lies, like teenagers are less likely to drink, have sex, and do drugs than early generations due to the smartphone, and the devices we put in their hands are making them mentally unstable. These lies are the journalist's projection of new inventions. Professor Lawrence Stanbury says smartphones aren't the easy fix to the underlying problem that teens face. According to the article of Professor Jean Twenge, teens today are more happy and satisfied with their lives than earlier generations. In the age of technology, the number of victims of mental health problems did not grow, the awareness did. I feel that you guys will need a bit more of a human input than a disembodied voice. Here is an interview I did with my school band teacher, Miss Thorpe.
My name is Patty Thorpe, and I'm the music director at Langley Secondary School. I think I noticed with cell phones. Cell phones, I remember our first one, it was kind of a brick, giganto thing that you couldn't fit in your pocket, and then we had flip phones that opened. Every single generation of cell phone has had more tech, more games, more recording abilities. It's crazy. But I think where we started, and this is recent memory for me, so huge. I think the biggest difference in a practical sense is the length of attention span. I feel like in my generation as a child, as a high school student, I was expected to be able to sit still for long periods of time. We spent a lot of time outside without parent intervention. We listened to the radio when we drove sometimes, but mostly we sang. In my family, we sang in the car, which I don't necessarily do with my own family. We weren't connected 24/7, so we had these long periods of boredom, which might have caused creativity. I think that the current generation is starting to figure that out, and they're, making people put their phones away when they go out for dinner and all that stuff. So I think it's going to evolve, but I feel like that's a huge difference between our generations. I think it's really important to remember that music is live. Music is an alive art form, and the musicians make it. It's way more fun to make music than it is to listen to it. Even, the very best music that I can sit down and listen to, I would far rather be making the music. So I always want, as I'm teaching students, I want them to be part of the creative process. So everything we do that brings the art of creativity into people's hands, that's great. The one thing I worry about a little bit in this current generation is with shows on TV like America's Got Talent or The Voice or all that, we get hung up on thinking if I'm not as good as them, I have no right making music, and I hate that. I think that everybody should be a musician, everybody should be creative, even if it's just singing in their shower, and they don't have to judge themselves so harshly. People judge themselves and they judge others because of those shows and because of the way everything is so connected now. Having the latest technology and being able to make recordings and send them out to the world, that's cool. That's amazing, and we just need to treat people well while we're using the technology, and that includes ourselves. Treat ourselves well, using the technology as a tool, not as an end-all be-all. The other thing that worries me is we spend a lot of money on technology in schools, and it goes out of date as soon as we buy it. Whereas if we buy traditional instruments, they don't go out of style. They can be used by generation after generation. We're using instruments that are 40 and 50 years old in this department to make great music on, and that's pretty cool. Nope. It just changes. When CDs came out, people said, we'll never listen to vinyl again. And now there's people that are vinyl aficionados that are very excited about vinyl. People said when recordings got too good, oh, we'll never go to live music again. It's like, that is not true. Live music is always going to be the epitome. You can watch a video of a live show and get some of the energy, but it's not the same as being in the room. So I think people will always want to gravitate to live events, and they should. Recordings are great, but being right in the room with the people making the music, there's nothing that can replace that. I think pop music gets a little formulaic and a little predictable, and I have to say rap music is not. I just don't get it myself. I listen to the chords changing underneath the music, and when I don't hear those chords change, it just drives me nuts. But that's just me. A lot of people like a lot of different things, and I think music has to be a personal choice. Music has to be different for every person and at different stages in your life. I used to listen to a ton of pop music. I don't much anymore. I lived in Indiana for a while, and the only radio station I could get was country. So I listened to a lot of country, and I got interested in the stories that it told. I don't listen much to country anymore. I listen to a lot of a cappella. Everything changes over your life, and I think that's the way music should be.
We see that technological change has impacted her life in many ways. Unlike Miss Thorpe, many teachers reject the use of new technologies as they are not reliable, but in fact they are just hindering their students' learning. This notion is starting to disappear from teachers' mindsets, and definitely for the better. We at LSS are very lucky to have such an open-minded teacher like Miss Thorpe. Her view on music is akin to her view on new tech. I truly appreciate this in that even though she doesn't understand certain genres like rap, she doesn't denounce it. We as humans need more of that mindset. Rejection of the changes and trends shouldn't be equal to denouncing it like it has been forever. In terms of how technology has affected her personal life, we start to see how useful it really is and how difficult it was to do seemingly simple tasks before. Doing this research and interview has given me a newfound appreciation for technology and reminded me to use it as a tool, not a crutch. Sorry for the existentialism in the beginning parts of the video. I was quite sleep deprived while writing the script and editing and recording audio clearly. We as humans have changed, without a doubt in my silly little head. The rejection of change is evident throughout history, but so is the acceptance. These two mindsets go hand in hand. One does not accept big changes right away, nor do they account for it. In war, millions have died because they didn't take into account the destructive capabilities of the newly invented machine gun. Thousands have died because doctors were too proud to let technology make their lives easier. The patient's care did not come first. The soldiers' lives did not come first. The public didn't have time to adapt to the notion that their future leaders could be lying, that they have ulterior motives that don't include our safety. Adolf Hitler rose because new technology allowed the people's minds to be corrupted, leaving law behind, leaving free will behind. The misinformation and rejection of truth in our society has led us to conflict. No matter the scale, it will affect someone. That someone will affect another, and another, and another. Your actions will cause a chain reaction, a ripple effect that affects many, if not all. This world, our world, is built on change. This world, our world, will be destroyed by change. But not by the changes in technology, not by the natural changes of the universe, but by a simple change in mind. It's what started us on this path, therefore it will be what ends it as well. To reject change is to reject reality. To reject reality is to reject humanity. But rejecting reality is what makes us most human in the first place.